What's going on, everyone? So just take a second, let it hit the senses. You smell that, you taste that, you feel that. It's called the 1 seed, baby, which the Lakers are, being 1-0. But in all seriousness, look, it was great. Solid win. I really enjoyed seeing this team perform. We're going to dive into this here in a moment. But it was good to just kind of get the first win out the way. Right? We haven't won an opening night since 2016. So to finally get that first W, excellent for JJ Redick as well to kind of get that out the way. You always want to get that first win. It's kind of like, when are you going to get the first win? You look at like with Darvin Ham, took, 5 games, 6 games for us to get the first win for him. So it's good to kind of just, done, over with. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to grow. The reason that I loved this win is you saw the clear difference. This team is different. Talked about it all offseason. You see exactly why I wanted JJ Redick. Even before, when JJ Redick was talking to the Charlotte Hornets, right? I was like, hey, we should consider JJ Redick because we've seen him be able to draw play designs and whatnot. And you see just the execution. You see the structured play designs. You see all the things that you want to see from the head coach. This was Denver last year opening night. Had the lead. Denver throws that punch. And last year, the Lakers just folded. This year, Lakers threw that punch right back. Boom, boom. Right? Lakers shot about as poorly as you could shoot. I mean, they weren't even bad, right? They were terrible. They were atrocious shooting the basketball. And they still pulled off a win. LeBron, for LeBron standards, was pedestrian in a lot of ways. And they still won. Literally, go look at all the cons from this game. This would have been a blowout loss had this been last year under Darvin Ham. But this year, you have guys buying in. You have guys getting after it on the defensive side. You have guys executing. You're running actual offensive sets. You are running actual defensive actions. The defense was tailor-made and designed to go up against Minnesota, and they executed it beautifully. The offensive play design was seamless to get open looks against the top defense in the league last year. The Lakers just weren't hitting shots, but they were still dominating. Look, Anthony Davis was just chef kiss, right? 36-16. Anthony Davis is probably going to have an MVP season. Why? Because of JJ Redick. JJ Redick is going to put Anthony Davis in the position to be dominant. How many times last year did we see Anthony Davis have 30 through 3 quarters and just not touch the basketball the rest of the game, right? And then you'd hear Darvin Ham be like, is idiot coach. Okay, well, you didn't do anything to correct it. I'm okay with you throughout the flow of the game. You're going to have these wins, losses. You're going to have these leads. Lakers were shooting terrible. Otherwise, that game was a blowout. If the Lakers would have shot half decent, that game's a blowout. They win by 30. But because the Lakers were shooting so poor, you knew Minnesota was going to make a run. You knew that they weren't going to continue. Anthony Edwards was going to start going off. Something was going to happen. Something was going to start falling, that they would throw their punches. They're a very good basketball team. Do have my concerns with the floor spacing. Everything that I highlighted and all my concerns with the Minnesota Timberwolves, even talked about it on this channel. All the reasons after that Julius Randle trade, all of them came to fruition. Now, it's one game, so I don't want to be too critical of Minnesota, but there's definitely concerns with Minnesota. However, still a very good defensive team. Still have guys that can put the ball in the hoop, such as Anthony Edwards. You saw him start to get going and start cooking. Saw Gil Alexander-Walker start hitting threes and stuff, right? You saw a path where that could have went disastrous and the Lakers could have lost. If we have Darvin Ham, I believe we lose that game. Obviously, I have no way of knowing. The only evidence that I have is the same game last year. Right? Literally, go watch the Denver game and then watch this game and tell me it's not the exact same thing. Lakers dominate the first half. They're winning. They're looking good. They start, kind of having that, third quarter tail ends, and then they just fell apart. Right? Lakers kind of, a little rocky third quarter, right? And then they kind of correct. And then Fourth quarter, let's get back in business. Let's get back to the well-oiled machine. Now, look, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. There's still things that need to be worked out. One, the shooting. Got to actually hit shots and make shots. But better closing of quarters. First quarter, they didn't do a great job of closing and finishing strong. They started strong. They threw that punch. But, it wasn't, they didn't follow through on the punch. It was just kind of like right? Like, it just kind of, there you go, right? But you saw the second quarter, boom, kind of create that separation. Then third quarter, again, didn't close strong. Fourth quarter, boom, really closed strong. It's what you like to see. I also love the minutes without LeBron and the minutes without Anthony Davis. Usually, the Lakers without LeBron James is a disaster, and it is horrendous, and the Lakers just completely fall apart. They were actually very good in those times. Again, guys weren't really hitting shots, but they were able to weather. It wasn't like we went from being up 12 to down 7, right, in that time. No, we were fine. We weathered it. We were good. A couple instances we actually built on the lead. Same thing when Anthony Davis went out, right? Anthony Davis went out, built on the lead originally, and then, Anthony Davis comes back in, boom, LeBron goes up, right? You saw a nice balance. I loved JJ Redick's play calling. I loved his execution. I loved his lineup and rotation. Right? The timeouts. Can I get an amen? Right? Like, it was amazing how good it was to just see the timeouts being called and properly, right? Like proper timeouts. They went on a run. It's like, hey, let's get this before it starts getting out of hand. Even when there was the stretch, we kind of got back into that little run. It was kind of like, hey, let's regroup. Out of timeout play calling, chef kiss, just beautiful, right? Every time we got a play call out of timeout, boom, it led to a bucket, right? The type of actions just being stacked on top of it, it's so nice to watch a competent offense. You watched a basketball team. Wasn't a bunch of standing around. Wasn't LeBron dominating the basketball for 20 of the 24 seconds. Well, I even had people like, oh, LeBron didn't seem very energetic. No, he was playing within the offense, right? Like that was him not dominating the basketball. He had some excellent cuts that led to easy buckets, right? Like you saw him playing within it rather than dominating the basketball and just being the offense. But that's good because that means he doesn't have to carry the offense because we're actually running offense in sets. Again, it wasn't perfect, but I trust JJ Redick. You know what JJ Redick's going to do? He's going to go into that film session and he's going to go, these are the things that we need to stop doing. These are the goods. These are the bads. This is the stuff we need to correct. This was game 1. Nothing is going to be perfect. We have 81 more games to go. This team is only going to get better. This team is only going to get more efficient, only going to get better, understanding of the offensive schemes and systems, right? Like the ball movement's only going to improve. The passing's only going to get better, right? Like that's what you want to see. I mean, you already see a glimpse of what can be, and we just beat what is probably going to be a top 4 team in the Western Conference out the gate, right? While shooting terrible, while, the energy, the hustle, the effort, the defense, the rebounding. I mean, the rebounding by itself was like, wow, this team can rebound. Right? We can actually grab boards. We can chase down loose balls. We can do the things that Darvin Ham supposedly didn't believe we could do. JJ Redick was able to figure it out. I've said it all offseason. JJ Redick is going to be the difference. Now, does that mean we are the best team in the league and that's it? Just give us the championship now. Why do we even need to complete this? Larry O'Brien, pass it down. No. Still got a lot of build. There's still areas of concern. There's still things that I believe we need on this team. There's still trades that can be made. You can always get better. But I think JJ Redick is going to go a long way. And I think the Lakers have a much better chance of winning. Right? I believe the Lakers have a puncher's chance regardless because you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on your team. Well, now you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis with a competent coach that's going to make adjustments. It's going to make changes. It's going to actually have play design. It's actually going to have a game plan against the opposing team that's going to specialize in each individual team rather than just like, oh, hey, just play the same defense against everybody, right? Because not every team is the same, right? Like, that's the difference. We have a competent, good head coach that showed what he's capable of doing. This is everything we wanted to see. Was it perfect? No, not even close. Not even close. This was probably as bad as the good can get, right? So the fact that we were still able to handle business and win in a dominant fashion, we won this game start to finish. Again, Minnesota threw their punch, but they never wobbled us. We were never wobbly, right? We were standing strong the entire time. Boom, boom, through those counters. I love it. That's what I wanted to see. Start to finish dominance. If this was Darvin Ham and this Lakers team, we lose this game. One, I don't believe that any adjustments or changes would have been made. You saw the adjustments and changes made, right? All of a sudden, we started running a lot more actions with Anthony Davis, started putting him in different spots on the floor. He started dominating. Hey, instead of going away from Anthony Davis, because he just gave you 15 in the third quarter, right? And common sense says, hey, they can't stop him. Let's keep giving him the basketball. Right? Like, no, let's go away from, let's not even put the basketball in his hands anymore. Why would we want Anthony Davis to win us this game? What does JJ Redick do? Give the ball to Anthony Davis. Healthy diet of boom, go to work. Anthony Davis making plays, dominating the basketball. You saw D'Lo picking it up, playmaking. He rattled off 6 straight points, or I think it was 8 out of 12 in that stretch, something like that. Right? Like, you see guys start picking it up. D'Lo had a rough game, but he had pockets where we're good. And defensively, effort, hustle, I loved it. Austin Reeves shot the ball poorly. But again, he had these little pockets. I like the aggression. I like the defense. I like the little things that you saw. Right? Rui Hachimura, right? Again, was arguably our second best player. I actually think he was our second best player. But he had some pockets that were better than others. LeBron James, pockets, right? Jackson Hayes, right? Give it up for Jackson Hayes. Had some pockets, right? Like, that's what you want to see. You want to see this collective effort, right? Instead of it having to be LeBron James and Anthony Davis doing everything, it's just you give a little contribution, you give a little contribution, you give a little contribution, you give a little contribution. Now we have enough to go win this game, right? That's the idea. That's the goal. Then you trust, Anthony Davis, LeBron James to close it out for you. Game's getting a little tight, hey, guy hit a key shot here and there, but ultimately it's give the ball to Anthony Davis. Let him go be your player. Get a ball to LeBron James. Let him go be the player. Hits that big three, right? Like, those are the kind of things. Those are the changes. Those are the differences. This team is different. I said it all offseason. This team is different. Do I believe that they're the best team in the league right now? No. I still think that they have a ways to go. Do I believe that the Lakers are going to be a top 5 offense? Yes, I said that before the season began. And if those guys hit half of the Lakers shot about as badly as you could shoot and still put up a $110 on the number 1 defense in the league last year. They're going to be a top 5 offense. They are going to be a top 5 offense. And I am excited for it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? You're kind of in the middle. You're kind of mixed. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.